What's up, peeps? Julian Williams here at the distance, here with a commentary video for you guys. This one is going to be a video about Devon Alexander called "It's Interesting." Pretty much, it's me talking about how the boxing internet, the boxing internet forums have pretty much turned on Devon Alexander over the last year or so. So this is just me, my experience being through boxing forums, and then dealing with boxing fans here on YouTube have dealing with Devon Alexander over the past year or so. So let's start off the whole historic thing with Devon Alexander. Devon Alexander won the WBC light welterweight championship, defeating Junior Witter August of 2009. He won the championship. And me, personally, I dealt with a bunch of hyped up Devon Alexander fans who got pissed off at me for saying Juan Urango was gonna defeat Devon Alexander. And though I predicted the fight completely wrong, a lot of Devon Alexander fans hit me up talking about I'm a dumbass for choosing Juan Urango, who's another pressure fighter who threw a lot of punches. And this, that, and the other. Because I thought that Devon Alexander had trouble against pressure fighters. I said this a year ago. I'm like, you can say what I'm saying in this video and say back a year ago. I said that is the way to defeat Devon Alexander, by applying pressure to him and constant pressure. He was able to maintain space against Juan Urango. He defeated him. And I'll give him that much credit. But even after that victory over Juan Urango, he went on, he fought Andres Kotelnik. He fought Kotelnik in a bout that I thought that Kotelnik won by 1 point. And I thought Kotelnik won by 1 point. But also I continue to say that Devon Alexander had more flaws. His jab was continuously getting countered, but he continued to throw that jab. His uppercut got taken away, but he kept trying to throw that uppercut. He kept standing in the pocket, and he kept getting countered. I continuously said that for the last year or so. But no, I'm an idiot, I'm a dumbass. I don't know shit about boxing, this, that, and the other from other boxing people on YouTube, or I'm a Devon Alexander hater because I said that Devon Alexander wasn't as good as people made him out to be. And then he fights Timothy Bradley in a letdown fight. He loses the bout by a technical decision. And somehow people started to turn on Devon Alexander. Prior to the Timothy Bradley fight, I had a bunch of people calling me a hater of Devon Alexander because I said that Devon Alexander did not have the maturity to continue on with this bout. I'll tell you this much. Devon Alexander, and this is me, I don't think that people need to turn on Devon Alexander. The reason that I don't think people need to turn on Devon Alexander is due to the fact that, one, his first bout after winning the championship was a unification bout against Juan Urango, who was having a great year in 2009, defeating Randall Bailey and Herman Ngojo. Even though they're not top heralded fighters, these were decent victories for Juan Urango. The August 27th bout against Bailey, he came off the cameras to get up and knock out Randall Bailey. The Ngojo fight, he chased down and walked down Ngojo to get that victory. So these are good victories, though he lost to Andre Berto in May of 2009. This is a decent victory. These are decent victories for him in this division. Randall Bailey hit him with a shot that he didn't even see coming, and he got up and he took out Randall Bailey. And his first bout was a unification bout. His second bout was against a former titleist in Andres Kotelnik. And even with a former titleist, a titleist knows how to fight in title fights and has experience, facing from time to time has experience facing fighters like a Devon Alexander. So Andres Kotelnik being in the ring with Amir Khan did well for Devon Alexander. But despite these two fights being one a unification bout in a fight with a former champion, people continue to hype up Devon Alexander. Even though to this day I still think that Devon Alexander is a green fighter, I think that he was able to turn green into gold, being that he was a talented fighter. Being that he was a talented fighter in a talented division, he had skill, and his skill was superior than other fighters' skills. So he was able to get by just by skill. But it's funny how people after the fight with Timothy Bradley began to turn on him. And me, I'm not even a bandwagon fan of Devon Alexander because I've always been critical of Devon Alexander myself. And the reason I've been critical of him is because he was fighting at such a high level, being a green fighter. So that's the reason I was critical of him, is that I still thought he was a green fighter, that he still had a lot of maturity to develop and a lot of other things, fundamentals to develop as a fighter. And he's fighting at a level that some other fighters should be fighting at. That was just me. But right now, I have a newfound respect for Devon Alexander, being that he didn't have to come back and fight Lucas Matisse. He could have came back and fought, a B-level opponent, he could have fought a rematch with DeMarcus Corley, had him, come drain down in weight and beat him, or some unheralded opponent. But no, he fought Lucas Matisse for 10 rounds. And these 10 rounds, yeah, I'll admit, these 10 rounds did play into his favor. Lucas Matisse, I think, could have fought 15 rounds back in the day. But he fought him 10 rounds. He didn't quit this bout. He fought against a fighter that possibly possessed trouble for him. And he did exceptional in this role. So people need to stop criticizing Devon Alexander. But also I'm not telling people to praise him neither. It was a fight. People see it people see fights the way they see them play out. My last time I saw it as a draw, but also Devon Alexander has faced tougher opponents than the other junior welterweights have faced in the last year or so. So I'm going to give Devon Alexander credit for his opponent selection compared to other fighters in that division. Amir Khan is facing tough opposition, but Timothy Bradley is facing tough opposition. But Devon Alexander has unified, and not only has he unified, but he's gone on to take tough fights out of the top 3 light welterweights at that time at the beginning of the year. So it's interesting how people will go on to criticize Devon Alexander, call him a pussy or a punk and all this other stuff. And even though he quit the bout against Timothy Bradley, I still hold him high in that division. Just because of the opponents that he's faced and the fact that he didn't even take a step down in competition. He took on another top 5, top 10 light welterweight and did what he did against him. So I'm not even going to hold this fight against him, like many boxing fans within the forums will do. Like I said, I have a newfound respect for Devon Alexander. Unification with Juan Urango, former titleist and Andres Kotelnik, and Timothy Bradley. These were all his title defenses. These are top 10 light welterweights. So for those who go on to judge and criticize and be critical of what Devon Alexander has done, and now he's gone on to face Lucas Matisse, another top light welterweight who has faced 2 straight southpaws, and probably more than likely will find his niche in facing southpaws, gallop off the canvas and continue to fight him. I gotta say this, Devon Alexander, I think, deserves a lot more credit than is being given right now. I don't think people are giving him that much credit for what he's done so far in the sport of boxing, being 24 years old, winning 2 championships, and facing the tougher opponents. I don't think people are giving him that much credit. People are already writing him off, and it's all bullshit if you ask me. So anyway, peeps, that was The Distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.